A question myself and a lot of people are having after the most recent My Hero Academia chapter is whether or not Shirakumo is going to be able to break free of the Kurogiri Nomu that he's become. The main conflict here is going to be between Shirakumo, who's going to want to help Present Mic and Aizawa and the heroes, versus Kurogiri, whose main goal is to protect Tomura Shigaraki. That's what he was programmed to do. On the hero side here, I'm not necessarily sure how full of a transformation back he can make, depending on how he's going to keep his form or not. We see Present Mic and Spinner at the end of the most recent chapter, both approaching him. One, of course, Spinner shouting Kurogiri, and Present Mic shouting Shirakumo's name. And I get more into depth with all that and each of their, I guess, reasonings in my previous video on the spoilers, but in this video I just kind of want to discuss whether or not I think Shirakumo is going to win this battle for his soul, and I guess Present Mic as well. It is a little disappointing that Aizawa isn't here for this, as I somewhat expected him to be when this happened, but he's been kind of sidelined a bit recently, so maybe he'll show up at some point, but he is kind of, you know, missing a leg and an eye and all. He's not in the greatest of shape. But yeah, if I had to put money on it, I think Present Mic is going to be in danger from Spinner possibly, and Shirakumo, whether it's briefly or permanently, will break through Kurogiri's mask in order to save his old friend. I think this would be really cool and satisfying, and I like Present Mic, so I'm excited that we're seeing more of him. He's pretty eccentric, and I like that in the character. And this would be a good way of closing out this plotline that we've seen a little bit of, but mostly it was in the MHA Vigilante spin-off manga, where we see some of Aizawa's backstory, and we actually see a lot more of Shirakumo there. So yeah, again, I'm placing my bets on the fact that Shirakumo is going to be able to break free and help Present Mic in this battle. Now, is it possible he dies here? Extremely possible. Anything's up. I'd probably say maybe he does come back and sacrifices himself, or he could actually just live. I think that'd be nice. Not everyone has to have a sacrificial death. I would hope some people could have that happy ending, but anyways. He is a really fun character, Shirakumo, from what we see of him, and if he could come back in any way, shape, or form, being this more like battered up character from experiencing death and being brought back as this Nomu, kind of like Red Hood, and I actually have another video on Red Hood coming out. If you don't know who that is, it's from the DC Comics and Batman family. So I think this could play really well and be very interesting and impactful for this character moving forward. I'm not necessarily sure how much of a future there is for this character, given the fact that My Hero Academia is probably ending relatively soon. But this full circle moment would be very satisfying to see, and I would love it does happen. So yeah, the manga has been a lot better recently. I've been enjoying it a lot. It's funny, once we move away from Deku and Shigaraki and All For One and all that, I tend to enjoy it a lot more. This more contained story about mutants and heteromorphic quirk users and the discrimination they face, as well as Shirakumo and his demons and kind of just being used like this against his will. I think it's all a lot more captivating than seeing Deku use the second user's quirk, even though that is really flashy and visually pleasing. Anyways, though, I think this is going to be really fucking cool. I'm very excited to see it, and whenever the spoilers come out, I will try to be the first one to post a video. I stay up like really late to do those, so if you do enjoy, please subscribe. It helps out the channel so much, and I would appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one.